Hello.
Hey, Britnie.
Hi, I'm Britnie Turner Keene, newly married, founder CEO of Aerial Development Group. I know everybody said thank you, but I mean, seriously, thank you. I'm 28. I'm from redneck, South Carolina, middle of nowhere, homeschooled, raised on a farm. I can't believe I get to sit up here with these amazing women. It's going straight to my head. I'm just risk. I wanted to do mission work since I was 12. And I went to a survival school when I was 18 that I heard you could buy a house and rent it out. And if you rent it out for more than what the mortgage costs you, that's a thing called cash flow. And if you save enough of this money, you can actually live wherever you feel called to. For me, it was in Africa. And you don't have to send those sponsorship letters. So I was really excited. I bought my first house at 18. And I was like, I'm going to be a real estate developer. That was in 2007. Perfect time to buy a house and to get into the real estate business. So needless to say, for the next 2.5 years, I was an abysmal failure. But I studied everything I could get my hands on. So the risk was, I actually didn't go to college because they didn't teach how to renovate houses, which is what I wanted to do. And I took a job in this place called Nashville that I'd never been. I moved up here and ended up getting fired within 60 days, had to live in my car and not tell anybody because I was already being told that I was a failure every day because I didn't go to school. I worked for free for 9 months and it was awesome. I learned the business, but you know what, you hustle, you gotta do what you gotta do. So that was risk. The trajectory was in 2012, I got the business going, I'd done over 50 renovations. I was quickly becoming one of the bigger real estate investors in Nashville. And a contractor who I'd known for a while started acting really shady. And he started going really over budget on projects. And I went up to him and I said, hey, you came up with these budgets. You can't keep doing this. I said, I don't have, the funding to keep paying you. It was like $60,000 over per house. It was ridiculous. I found out when I got 200 phone calls that day that he had not been paying the subs for 3 months. It ended up being $1 million loss between me going back and repaying those guys, repulling the permits, and what else did he do? He went back and stole all the materials off of over 8 job sites. And I wasn't bankable at the time because I was brand new and banks weren't really lending on this stuff. It was all hard money lenders. And the way that is set up is if things go wrong, you can let them just have the house back. But I knew that they weren't set up to know where the heck this project was. My sister, who was 14, it was her first summer interning with me, watched the whole thing unfold. I thought I was gonna die, I wanted to quit, but it's one of those moments where you really figure out who you are inside. So I put my boots on, I went out to the job sites, and I just figured it out. I didn't think the investors would ever lend to me again, because on my watch, I let something so horrible happen. How could I not see this coming? But they went back and told their friends that no matter what happens to Britnie, she has your back. You'll never lose with her. And 5 months later, the company was 5 times bigger, and I started my own construction company to make sure subs get paid.
Wow, that's great. Fantastic, right? So we're going to do one more round of questions here, and this is a fun one.
Okay, I have a confession. I don't really care about houses. That's not ever been my goal. So one of the moments that I realized that I made it was mixing my purpose and passion with my business, and how my business became the vehicle in which I can live my purpose and passion in a bigger and bigger way and bring people along with me. I went on several mission trips in my teens, and I met some horrifically abused little girls, and it changed my life forever. And I knew then, I want every day to be lived in a way that I can create opportunity for those who have none, because I would see these, specifically these little girls, where it was in this community where it was socially acceptable for the fathers to abuse them. And I was so pissed that I was like, I gotta figure out how to come back and change this. I need to, anyway, I just knew that in America we have a lot of opportunities. Why would we not execute on those on behalf of others? And so that's why I never realized that real estate could be the way to change it. And so it's been really fun to be a real estate developer with a very different mission. We developed to address social needs. We're actually building the first health and wellness community in Nashville, East Greenway Park, because we found out that Tennessee was rated number 4 in the nation for highest rating of obesity. Well, we as developers, everybody's existing in what developers built. Why would we not be really intentional about the way that we design it and make it flow and interact with your world? I named the company Ariel to keep the big picture in mind, and it's been an amazing, constant reminder every time I start getting off track at all, even for a second, because this is a pretty tough business, and there's a lot of people who don't like when you come in and do really awesome really fast. But one of my biggest moments that I realized I made it was taking my staff over to Kenya to see our 2 orphanages that we've been able to fund and be a huge part of in creating opportunity for these kids that have all been horrifically sexually abused. They're trained that they're leaders. They're not brought there because they're abandoned. They're brought there because they are being trained to be influencers. And the results are so cool, and it was amazing to be always telling the story of why we started Ariel to my staff, but also let them see it. For our global outreach, they see the local outreach all the time, but when they see like, really extreme situations, it was a game changer, so I loved that moment.
Wow. Well, I want to